never gonna be complaining. Turn myself into a boss, 24/7, feel like a vacation. I still remember the days when I was working for minimum wage. I looked myself in the mirror, told myself I gotta switch up my ways, yeah. Now I be living amazing, I'm never gonna be complaining. Turn myself into a boss, 24/7, feel like a vacation. I still remember the days, driving delivery, not getting paid. I started rapping and everything changed. Travel to Italy, I celebrate everything that I've been doing. Closing the doors, but I'ma break through them. Caught me a foreign, but I want a new one. Look like a tourist, but I'm speaking fluent. Came a long way from my younger life. None of this happening overnight. Put in a decade of work, my resume speak for itself. These rappers be looking like socialites. I'm not the type for comparisons. Allergic to losses like Claritin. Believed in myself when nobody would. Remember they told me I'm arrogant. I still remember the days when I was working for minimum wage. I looked myself in the mirror, told myself I gotta switch up my ways, yeah. Now I be living amazing, I'm never gonna be complaining. Turn myself into a boss, 24/7, feel like a vacation. I still remember the days when I was working for minimum wage. I looked myself in the mirror, told myself I gotta switch up my ways, yeah. Now I be living amazing, I'm never gonna be complaining. Turn myself into a boss, 24/7, feel like a vacation. The longer the journey, the better the outcome. They got a label, did it without one, don't need to fake it. I cannot stand them, been dedicated, this is not random. I've been doing this for a minute, put in the time, now I get to live it. Travel the world, I gave it a visit, then I'm getting back to the business. Ayy, I'm Bradley Cooper when I'm feeling limitless, making the money and then I be giving it back to the people who raised me. I take the rest, I invest and I'm flipping it. The industry full of some snakes, live in the moment, then I get away. I take advantage of all of my chances when I look back at how far that I came, yeah. I still remember the days when I was working for minimum wage. I looked myself in the mirror, told myself I gotta switch up my ways, yeah. Now I be living amazing, I'm never gonna be complaining. Turn myself into a boss, 24/7, feel like a vacation. I still remember the days when I was working for minimum wage. I looked myself in the mirror, told myself I gotta switch up my ways, yeah. Now I be living amazing, I'm never gonna be complaining. Turn myself into a boss, 24/7, feel like a vacation. Nothing to something, now they all love it. Look at me go. Ayy, can't even go out in public, nobody trusted. Look at me go. Ayy, pressure been building, I gotta raise up the ceiling. Look at me go. Ayy, these other rappers be my children, all of they feelings. Look at me go. Ayy, turning that nothing to something, now they all love it. Look at me go. Ayy, can't even go out in public, nobody trusted. Look at me go. Ayy, pressure been building, I gotta raise up the ceiling. Look at me go. Ayy, these other rappers be my children, all of they feelings. Look at me go. All of these rappers been getting richer when they always be rapping about being rich. That don't make sense to me cause I relate to the rappers who talking about real shit. I don't got time for that jibber jabber cause I already know what the deal is. They only here for today but they leaving tomorrow like they on a field trip. Windows tinted when I'm pulling up, feel like I'm Heisenberg cooking up. And if you been talking that crazy, got Dre with me and he fix you up. Who you know been dropping hit after hit after hit after hit. I'm on a mission, they get in my way and everybody knows that I'm never gon' miss. Look at me go. Ayy, turning that nothing to something, now they all love it. Look at me go. Ayy, can't even go out in public, nobody trusted. Look at me go. Ayy, pressure been building, I gotta raise up the ceiling. Look at me go. Ayy, these other rappers be my children, all of they feelings. Look at me go. Ayy, turning that nothing to something, now they all love it. Look at me go. Ayy, can't even go out in public, nobody trusted. Look at me go. Ayy, pressure been building, I gotta raise up the ceiling. Look at me go. Ayy, these other rappers be my children, all of they feelings. Look at me go. Spending more time with my fam, cause they the only ones who know what I've been through. Everybody riding waves, looking like they gotta find a new swimsuit. Made a promise to myself, I'm never gonna stop till I get what I'm meant to. I don't need much to be happy, just enough money to pay when the rent's due. Touring the world, I'ma make it happen. Meeting the fans who I made it happen. Know that I'll never be losing traction. Best in the game, yeah, I'll be the captain. Living my life with a chip on my shoulder. Lately it feels like a boulder. Looked at my watch and I don't have no time to chill. I need a meal. Look at me go. Ayy, turning that nothing to something, now they all love it. Look at me go. Ayy, can't even go out in public, nobody trusted. Look at me go. Ayy, pressure been building, I gotta raise up the ceiling. Look at me go. Ayy, these other rappers be my children, all of they feelings. Look at me go. at nothing to something, now they all love it. Look at me go. Ayy, can't even go out in public, nobody trusted. Look at me go. Ayy, pressure been building, I gotta raise up the ceiling. Look at me go. Ayy, these other rappers be my children, all of they feelings. Look at me go. Ayy, look at that boy, got God all in him. All that I do is already written. Tell them my truth, I talk, they listen. Can't find a box that I could fit in. I've been on track, I've been through it all. Nothing they say could stop what I'm on. Back to the basics, mind been racing. I'ma go catch everything that I'm chasing. Not on my waiting, but I know my time coming and I'm getting impatient. Proud that I never just gave in. I could've made it, but I'd rather do it all my own way than whole lot of games, but I don't play them. My shit real, I don't do no faking. Already know this gon' be my summer. Watch how I'm coming. I've been on one. For my people, I work till the morning. I stay on my grind, I keep it going. I've been waiting on this way too long, yeah. Way too long, yeah. I've been on one. For my people, I work till the morning. I stay on my grind, I keep it going. I've been waiting on this way too long, yeah. Way too long, yeah. All that talk, but I'm tired of the cap. Around the world where you find me at. My GPS just turned to a map, and the life they show I've been living that. Just got back from the coast of Amalfi. Worldwide trips just turned to a hobby. I could get used to this, I've been doing that, I ain't new to this. But the grind don't stop, I'm too dedicated. I'ma do me if they love it or hate it. Check their streams, they looking inflated. All that fame be looking outdated. I'm trying to tell them to take over coming. Waiting my turn, but I'm finally buzzing. I've been the greatest, they know it. Started from nothing, I turned it to something. I've been on one. For my people, I work till the morning. I stay on my grind, I keep it going. I've been waiting on this way too long, yeah. Way too long, yeah. I've been on one. For my people, I work till the morning. I stay on my grind, I keep it going. I've been waiting on this way too long, yeah. Way too long, yeah. Ay, I'm out in the cold desert. My phone I do not disturb. I'm living the life, I'm feeling the vibe. They know that the bag's secure. Don't got any room on my passport. I travel around the world. The places I go, the things that I seen. Yeah, this is the life I earn. I look at the man in the mirror and I see a winner. I did it my way, I don't need your opinion. Put food on the table, my pockets got bigger. I'm eating that caviar, breakfast and dinner. I do what I want when I want and I love it. I knew all along I make something for nothing. I celebrate every day of the week. The checks keep increasing from month after month, and I give myself all the validity. I don't need nobody telling me differently. Don't care about fame, cause that don't mean shit to me. I just enjoy what I do and take care of my family. Whoa, I'm out in France, I travel the coast. I kick it in can, then hit Monaco. The life that I chose, I put in the work and I seen the results. Yeah, step in the ring, Muhammad Ali. My name got a ring like caller ID. I'm one of the biggest who reppin' and see. The lack of respect is not bothering me. My life a reflection, what they wanna be. The views that I seen are hard to believe. I don't need approval from journalists who really be some failed MCs. I know the truth behind all the madness, minding my business, keep living lavish. Love all the fans who made it all happen. I wouldn't be here without them, don't take it for granted. Yeah, my life is a movie, but I'm not an actor. Everything real, I'm turning a chapter. On to the next, I'll see what's in store. But for now, I'm out in the cold desert. My phone I do not disturb. I'm living the life, I'm feeling the vibe. They know that the bag's secure. Don't got any room on my passport. I travel around the world. The places I go, the things that I seen. Yeah, this is the life I earn. It's a new year, but I'm still here. Getting my reps up, I'm top tier. Been getting ready for war, I tell them there ain't no man I fear. Taking my my time, but watching close. What they been saying about my flows. I gotta get my revenge, I'm proving them wrong and counting them O's. Whoa, putting that game in a chokehold. Never been paying for promo. Put a Rolex on my mama wrist, got diamonds, calling them stone cold. Got my bro rich, I got my girl rich, so everyone good in my circle. I started from scratch and made these ends by putting my name on the logo, yeah. I be living with a vacation, I made Miami my zip code. Life been looking like the Travel Channel, they watching everywhere that I go. From Dubai out to Tokyo, then to Monaco, I done seen the most. I was sitting next to Kanye, said you changed my life, had to let him know. Made the beat, I had to switch it up, never needed nobody help. Remember when they didn't show me love, I had to get it all by myself. Still be thinking about the late nights, I was working overtime, losing rest. Nowadays I be sleeping good, knowing that the rest of my life is set. Made my net worth triple double like Westbrook, the way that I invest. Making music turn to a hobby now, cause I really don't need the bread. Could be sitting on the court side for a whole season when I'm breaking sweat. Used to buy that designer shit, but now I be wearing them Nike sweats. Getting older and more wise, changing what I prioritize. I be chilling inside the crib, I don't waste my time buying bottle signs. Used to flex when I was young, now I don't care to go post online. I'll be focused on finding peace all 2025.
I just sit back and collect gold. I'd rather do it all on my own. No one else can feel in my role. Time is moving, I cannot stay. Lost people with a smile on display.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday. Cheers. Welcome, everybody, to Tea with a Hacker. Welcome, everybody, to Friday. Why does this Friday feel like it has been so long coming? You know, some weeks I get on here and I'm like, man, I can't believe it's another Friday. This Friday has felt like it has taken forever. Happy Friday, especially for my folks who came home from RSA last night on the red eye. My wife included. Carmen, I picked her up at 5:30 this morning from the airport. She caught the red eye home from San Francisco last night. And I got the brain dump on the way home from the airport on RSA. And I am tired. I'm tired of RSA having listened to the brain dump from RSA. So boy, do I have some third party shit to tell you this morning. Welcome, everybody, to a Friday morning Tea with a Hacker session. If this is your first time here, welcome to Tea with a Hacker. My name is Neal Bridges, and I am your host for the morning. I'm here to welcome you to Friday, welcome you to the weekend, and say GTFO to the following week behind us. This is our Friday morning stream where I sit down here with you with a bunch of caffeinated, overdosed logic, or whatever it is. And I sit here and I answer all your questions for a couple hours before I've got to go do my real job. We are streaming live across... What? Oh, there's the logic involved. Yeah, that's right. I got a mod in my ear. Speaking of, huge shout out to our mods this morning. Please, everybody, give some W's in chat across our mods. We are streaming live across LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube, and X. God, I can't even remember which platforms we're streaming across this morning. Mods are here to keep chat free of racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior. We have a zero tolerance policy for that type of stuff. In the stream. What that means is, just don't be an asshole. Like, that's it. Just don't be an asshole. That's it. Like we're here to have civil discourse. We want conversing opinions. My opinions are just that. They're opinions. I make my opinions very well known. I'm not here to tell you anything's right. I'm not here to tell you anything's wrong. I'm here to give you my unadulterated opinion on things. With that being said, sometimes we end up with people in chat who decide they want to come in and troll and be assholes, and that's why we have mods. But mods are not here to stifle chat by any stretch of the imagination. If you're new here, mods are here to make sure that your voice gets heard and make sure that you have a great place to be able to have your voice heard. Whatever that voice is, whatever that opinion is, whether it agrees with me or not, we welcome it. This is a quick reminder, though, that if you do find yourself on the wrong side of a mod action, or you believe you find yourself on the wrong side of a mod action, please hit that exclamation point Discord in chat and hop on over to Discord and hang out over there in Discord. That is the best place to get in touch with the moderators. Additionally, we currently have a giveaway going. We currently have a giveaway going for 3 Try Hack Me vouchers happening over on Discord right now. If you'd like your chance at some Try Hack Me vouchers, hop on over to Discord. Sign up for that giveaways channel. Make sure you got those notifications turned on for the giveaways and get yourself in the running. That giveaway does end today at 5 Eastern Standard Time. So we capture everybody from the stream today. Capture everybody from who watches this VOD as they wake up or go to bed or finish off work early across the globe. So hop in there. Huge shout out to Jason and the BitLift team for giving over the Try Hack Me vouchers as part of their bi-weekly threat breakdown stream that they do with us. Why do we do Friday morning AMA streams? Just really quick. Obviously, we have a lot of thematic content that goes on throughout the week. This week we had Jason on from Threat Breakdown. Next week we'll have Sec Data Ops. I sit down here with you guys on Friday and really just kind of make myself available to ask questions. So with that being said, questions and interaction with me is one of the prime kind of values that comes from this stream being live. So really, you just ask a question at any point in time. You drop it into chat. You can also drop comments in there too. I've been quite known to see a comment and start pulling on a thread. We call them soapboxes around here because it's, sometimes I think chat thrives itself on seeing, just how much they can trigger me. I kind of like it. It's kind of a fun little game. We kind of go back and forth. Chat tries to trigger me. They say that they're like, what can we set Neal off with today? Who knows? With that being said, I do enjoy it. I love the Fridays. I love the Fridays. Good to see Callie in chat. Beardsec with the XDR. Yeah, XDR's out. AI's in. There you go. XDR is out. AI is in. AI has made a return to the conferences. I mentioned I picked Carmen up from the airport this morning. I'm back from RSA. She was telling me about some of the ridiculousness that she saw from the vendor booth there. And what I'll say is it felt like what she was saying to me, there was a time, and Matt from Query said this yesterday on our all hands. If you go back to 2020, so the last RSA I went to was the 2019, 2020. I went to the 2020 RSA right before the lockdowns happened. The 2020 RSA happened in February, then the lockdowns happened in March for COVID. I will talk about that, Dosco. I actually posted that up in resource repository. I'm gonna add that one to the queue. And one of the things that has never failed me is that cyber vendors spend an ungodly amount of money on marketing. And when you go to conferences like RSA, when you go to conferences like Black Hat, the booths are something out of a carnival. So I heard today from Carmen that one vendor brought puppies to RSA. I was like, okay, all right, I guess that's one way to attract people to your booth is with puppies. You have no other way. You can't attract them with your technology. Yeah. Sentinel-1 had an F1 car racing track there. There were puppies there. There were clowns on stilts. She told me one company had a easy bake oven where they were baking cookies live and giving them away. She said that Wiz had custom Cards with Humanity CISO type of questions on it. And then yes, Cards Against Humanity with CISO type questions on them. And then yes, as Outcast said, apparently they brought goats. They brought goats to RSA because, of course, this vendor wanted you to walk in, see goats, and be like, that cybersecurity company is the goat. For my folks outside the U.S. who don't understand the goat analogy, I don't know where it started, but I think most people attribute it to Tiger Woods. GOAT, G-O-A-T, greatest of all time. Apparently, you're supposed to see baby goats and go, oh, that company's the GOAT. So you see that when people come back from RSA, that's what they remember, right? You know why? Because all the marketing material sucks. Thank you, ADHD. That's 100% right. Michael Jordan was indeed the first GOAT. Right? Nobody has any sense of what the actual purpose of the marketing stuff is, except to see who can outdo who on the boats, on the goats, on the whatever the freak they decided to bring to RSA. The most outrageous claim that she said she saw, back to actual like marketing discuss. Matt Anthony, if you're watching, I'm sorry, it's conference season. I got to bash marketing. The most outrageous marketing thing that she said she saw was that a company was claiming to get you FedRAMP certified in less than 90 days. Now, for my folks in chat who are like, what the fuck did Neal just say? FedRAMP is like SOC. It's like ISO 27001. The government, the U.S. government, makes you get FedRAMP certified to be able to operate, inside of the government infrastructure, right? And there's a massive, it oftentimes takes 2 years by standard debt. And that's good. That's with like a PwC working with you to get FedRAMP certified. And they were in there in a booth claiming that they could get you FedRAMP certified in 90 days. Never, not happening. Not happening. When we talk about what is wrong in this industry, I would point squarely at the capitalization and marketing of cybersecurity capabilities. Right? I would like, it is this right here, right, with FedRAMP in 90 days that unequivocally makes our industry an absolute laughingstock. An absolute laughingstock. Obviously, AI was everywhere. I mean, I didn't need Carmen to come back to tell me that that was going to happen. I mean, you could see that in every post on LinkedIn. You could see it in every post leading up to RSA on LinkedIn. I mean, it was freaking inevitable that AI was going to make a return to marketing inside of RSA, and it did not disappoint. It did not. Agentic AI was the marketing across all of every vendor. Right? Agentic AI. I saw an advertisement or an interview or something like that where they were like, we can have an agentic AI that will run your entire SOC for you. And I have asked these people this question. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do with the people in my SOC? Are you walking into enterprises saying that I should fire them? And they're like, no. We're definitely not saying you should fire your people. Well, then why would I buy your solution if you're telling me that I'm not going to fire my people, I shouldn't fire my people, and I can't fire my people? Well, you need your people to run the agentic AI solution. Oh, so I'm going to buy your solution with agentic AI and have my people run your agentic AI as well. They're not actually solving problems. They're not actually solving real problems. That's my frustration, is that when you go to these conferences, Carmen said she walked up to a booth. And asked them explicitly, what does your product do? And all she got was agentic mumbo jumbo, was buzzword bingo. Now, that is a problem when you send marketers to a cybersecurity conference to interface with practitioners on the ground. Right? You're sending marketing people and salespeople to a conference to talk to practitioners, and all they know, listen, I'm gonna expose some secrets. Oh, I have something for show and tell, and I'm trying to think if I want to show and tell something. Oh, I have something for show and tell. Okay, I'm going to do this because I think I can do it respectfully. Hold on for a second. Okay, all right. I had to think about how I was going to do this respectfully without naming and shaming somebody. So, Query does not do this anymore. I walked into this 3+ years ago. So this is something Query does not do anymore. We absolutely do not do this. This was a long time ago when I first started, and we stopped doing it because it was absolutely useless in today's space, which is why I said, like, I can 1000%, show this and I can do it in a respectful way. But if you're not aware of how the sales and marketing engine works with a lot of these big companies, I'm talking Zscaler, CrowdStrike, right? Like Tenable, like anybody who shows up big at these conferences, they have these. Everybody on sales and marketing gets a battle card, right? A battle card. You can kind of see it a little bit right there at the top. Messaging framework. Right? And then there's things on it like target business, buyer personas, right? Licensing model. You see, I hid that one right there, right? And then there's differentiated benefits. There's challenges, right? There's objection handling. There's a whole section here on objection handling, right? Differentiated capabilities. There's customer stories here, right? There are discovery questions with different personas and discovery questions to ask. Every organization, every sales and marketing organization has a battle card that they make their sales and marketing team memorize or learn when they go to these conferences, right? And so this is what those folks are using in that booth. And it's so like an AI, right? Where it's like, if you ask it anything outside of the parameters that it's been taught, it goes into this loop where it's like, well, that's not on my battle card, so I'm just not going to answer the question for you, right? That's what it is, sending marketing and salespeople to these conferences, is that if it's not on their battle card, then they don't have an answer to it. They're trained not to answer anything other than what's on this battle card. As a matter of fact, I walked up to a booth at FSISAC. And I was like, hey, can you just tell me what it is that you do? And immediately they went directly to their discovery questions on their battle card and started asking me discovery questions. Like, no, don't ask me my problems. Stop working your process to try to ask me what my problems are, to identify my persona so you know how to sell to me. Just tell me what it is your product does. We don't actually know. Neal, I wish we could tell you what our product was. We don't actually know. On my battle card, it just says that I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to say, what does your infrastructure look like? I have no idea what you're going to say. I probably don't know 90% of the technologies that you're going to say, but I'm going to ask you, what does your infrastructure look like? Do you have investments in cloud, SaaS, and on-premise? Holy shit, you are so in tune with my business. You are so in tune with my business. I can't believe it. That, to me, that is what's wrong with trying to get real answers and real solutions. And Residual, I love you. I do, but you're way wrong on this. You're way wrong on this. I used to think this too. In today's day and age, I don't think this is the case anymore. I think that more and more, now if you'd asked me 5 years ago, hell, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I'd have said we saw a lot of leaders that were not technical. And so yes, 10 years ago, maybe we needed a battle card that said explain it like I'm 5. But I do not believe that the majority of leaders need to be spoken to like they're 5. In this day and age. Do I think that CISOs have a lot going on? Yes. Do I think that sometimes sales and marketing tries to be very direct with folks who have 5 minutes of their time to give you? Absolutely. And I think that is what drives the need to be exaggerated and borderline lying in the sales and marketing process. And listen, you know, I am very open about this. I was very open when I started at Query 3 years ago. I'm very open with the entirety of the sales team today. So I'm not telling you anything that I haven't already told the folks that I work with here. I am an absolute cynic on the sales and marketing function in 90% of cybersecurity organizations today, because they adhere to an antiquated legacy model on how to connect with the buyer. And I learned, so Jeff helped me learn this, and this is just the reality of the sales and marketing process. In other industries, if you didn't know this, right, in other industries, they have boiled sales and marketing down to a mathematical formula. Meaning they said that if your quota, Rob, if your quota for sales, because I know that that's exactly what you wanted somebody to do, is to give you a quota for sales, right? If your quota for sales was $1 million a quarter, they've already determined mathematically that you have to close X number of deals per month based on the average sales price or the ASP of whatever it is that you're selling. And so to get to X number of closes per month, you have to have X number of touch points per month, which means you have to have X number of reach outs per month, which means you have to have X number of people at the top of your funnel so that mathematically and statistically you are likely to get to your close number. Notice I didn't say shit about whether your product solved a problem. All I talked about was this is how many people have to be at the top of your funnel. This is how many calls I have to make. This is how many touch points I have to make a month. This is how many meetings I have to have a week so that I can have one close a month. Not whether I solved a problem, not whether I'm doing my customers any service or anything like that. Numbers, 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 numbers. And CISOs have gotten onto this. I don't know if you saw or not. JP Morgan Chase's CISO put out an open letter, to SaaS providers. We see it almost weekly, inside the LinkedIn sphere, right? Where, people are complaining because they got to reach out from a marketing person, a salesperson. I mean, hell, I could pull up my DMs from LinkedIn and show you some stuff. Sorry, I had to sneeze and I didn't want to sneeze in the microphone. Right? I mean, the other thing too is that like when you get a sales reach out, you know it. You know, like nobody reaches out to you on LinkedIn unless they want you to buy something. Period, dot, end of discussion. And it's almost like salespeople don't know that. Don't know that. I had somebody I'd never met before send me a connection request on LinkedIn. And in the connection request, it says, hey, I was talking to such and such at Query at RSA this week, and they had mentioned that you just got done with your SOC 2. Congratulations, Neal. You just got done with your SOC 2, but you weren't happy with how the process went. And those who have followed my journey know that I haven't been really happy with how my SOC 2 went, but that's fine. And so in discussing with them, I decided to reach out and see if we can have a conversation. I can make your SOC 2 better. Really? How? What problem did you think that I had that you could solve? Because I didn't see that. No, what you want to do is you want to get me on the phone. You want to hear me bitch whine and complain about my SOC 2, and you'll be like, oh, you won't have any of those problems with us. Right? I can guarantee it. It doesn't matter what I said. I could tell you that the email that I got from them was written in Windings, and you'd be like, oh, you'll never get an email from us written in Windings. Yeah, I love that one. Hey, Neal, looks like we're in the same space. I thought I'd reach out and collaborate. You know what I do for people who ask me to reach out if they want to collaborate with me? Right? Like I'm a content creator. When people say they want me to collab, I have a different thought in my head. And so I go, oh, cool. Yeah, we love collabing at Cyber Insecurity. What would you like to collab about? Oh, well, can we hop on a call? We sell this and we think we can solve the problem. I was like, no. You said we would collab together. You said we'd collab, which means I get something, you get something. What is it that I'm supposed to get, and what are you supposed to get? And they're like, oh, well, we'll sell you our thing, and then you get the benefit of our thing. I'm like, oh, you don't want a collab, you want a customer. People don't understand what a collaboration is. Collaboration is where both people get something back. If I buy your thing, that's not a collab. That's a customer. I know they start with C. They both start with C, but that's not that's not the C word that you're looking for. There it is, folks. There was the first soapbox of the day. RSA was an absolute shit show. I mean, listen, I will always be cynical about conferences, right? Especially conferences that have gotten to be over marketized, capitalized. I don't know. Where there is more marketing, more BS than there is actual conferencing, I will always be insanely cynical. Somebody said to me yesterday, well, Neal, I want to go to the conference to meet up with old friends. If you have to go to conference to meet up with old friends, like are they really friends? Like, maybe I'm just weird like that, but I'd have never felt the pull to simply spend an exorbitant amount of money to go listen to people who don't know shit about cyber. If I have to go do that to reconnect with old friends, are they really friends? Right? Most of the friends that I connect with, Cybertooth with the gifted subs. Thank you so much. Hype train has begun. Love the hype train. If you just got gifted a sub by Residual, by Cybertooth, first of all, thank him. Second of all, you now have an exclusive pass to our sub chat Friday night. Exclusive content. Hang out with myself and several of the other folks. Talk cyber in the evening. Make sure you're there. Is it worth going at all from Winter Jolt over on YouTube? This is the weird double-edged sword. This is the weird double-edged sword with conferences, right? Is it worth going at all? It depends on what you want to get out of it, right? Every person gets something different out of their experiences. I've made it very clear I don't go to conferences anymore. Unless somebody, what Callie's saying, right? Unless somebody points to me and says, Neal, I'm going to pay to put you on a plane, I'm going to pay to put you in a hotel, and I'm going to pay for you to go to Black Hat, especially Black Hat. Like, so again, I'll put it in perspective, right? I had the chance to go to RSA. Carmen was going to be there, so, I could have saved Query some money by staying in the hotel with my wife, right? All I would have had to pay for, or Query would have had to pay for was airfare out there and anything that I chose to eat, right? So it would have been a very minimal Query expense to send me out of there. My conversation with Matt was, first and foremost, do you, Matt, CEO of Query, see any value to having me out at RSA? You personally. And he was like, no, not really. And I was like, second question was, do you, from a CEO's perspective, need me or want me to assist you and be your backup at RSA? And he was like, nah, not really. I think we're good. We got Billy going. We got Dave, or we got Mike and whatnot going. So no, I think you're good. I'm like, sweet. He's like, do you want to go? And I was like, no, I don't. I'm making sure that you, my boss, Query as a company, do not need me to go. And if you don't need me to go, nope, I will be more than happy to stay my happy ass here and stream to my community. Do some AI labs, play some golf, play some video games. I have 1,000,001 other things that I would rather do than to go to RSA. Right? So for me, it is not worth going to conferences. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Any talk worth its weight, any talk that is worth its weight at any conference will always go on the internet. Think about it. I'll put it in a scenario for you. I'm Neal Bridges, ex-NSA hacker. I finally decided to do, a talk. I'm going to do a talk titled Hacking Like an NSA Hacker, but I'm only going to give this talk once, and I'm only going to do it at Black Hat. Are you going to believe that I would never put a talk like that up on YouTube? Up on a WordPress site, up on LinkedIn? Anybody who has a talk worth giving in those arenas will always make them available for you to get. So I'm not missing out on content by not going to a conference. That is the biggest lie that people talk about when they talk about going to Black Hat and DEF CONs. Oh, I want to see the talks. Cool, wait for them to come out on YouTube. Go follow those people who speak. They will eventually put them out on the internet. You don't get to ask questions in Black Hat and DEF CON. I don't know if you've been there or not. These rooms are massive. There are 200 people packed into a room. It's not like you can raise your hand and talk to them. Right? The other one I hear is that it's a great networking opportunity. Listen, almost every single one of you are introverts. We've talked about it on stream. Most of you are introverts. Most of you couldn't talk your way out of a social setting if your life depended on it. Right? Most of you couldn't talk your way into a free ice cream at an ice cream shop. Right? So okay, you, Mr. Mrs. Introvert, are going to go to a conference with thousands of people and just randomly talk to people. Bullshit. Bullshit. Right? You're going to go there, you're going to see a bunch of people, and you're going to stand around there looking like a nerd with all the rest of the nerds and be like, will somebody talk to me, please? I just got told by one of my mods that might be a bit harsh. My bad if I offended you. But let's be real, right? Let's be real. Most of you don't like you hear the networking trope. And I don't think that you've put it into perspective the amount of work that it goes into networking at a big conference like that. I gotta give a huge shout out to Matt Anthony over on LinkedIn. I don't know what he heard, but he just put ouch inside the chat. So I'm not sure if he's hearing me live or if he's hearing if he's delayed a little bit. Matt Anthony, you may want to go back and watch the beginning part of the stream. I went on a tirade about sales and marketing, folks. If you want a real ouch, you should go back and watch the beginning part of the stream. You have to go with a plan, right? If you want to get the most out of it, and if you really, really want to capitalize on the networking effect of a conference, it requires planning. Let me put a little bit aside and say that you can network at a conference, but you have to do the networking part before you go to the conference. Make sure you heard me say that right. You have to do the networking part before you go to the conference. And that's what Chris said in Twitch chat, right? Where he talked about, it's a lot of work, right? When I go to conferences, if Matt pointed at me and said, you're going to DEF CON and Black Hat this year, I would start today. Yes, May. I would start today in May reaching out to everybody in my network that I wanted to connect with and made sure that I got on their calendar the week of Black Hat. I would then open it up to anybody else who is going to be there the week of Black Hat, and I would be on their calendar the week of Black Hat. And there are a few people in this community who have spent time with me at Black Hat. I've never bought a badge at Black Hat. Didn't buy a badge at DEF CON. Right? And all I did was I went and I met and networked with 100 people that week. Right? But I did it because I did all the work up front to do the networking. That's, in my definition, how you do it the right way. You don't just show up at a conference and be like, RSA, I'm here, let's network. You know what you're going to get? You're going to get a bunch of vendors who are going to come to you with their battle cards and be like, are you a decision maker? No, I'm just an analyst. I don't want to talk to you. My battle card says I only talk to decision makers. Let's be honest. If we're being real honest, the only reason most people go to conferences is for the free alcohol and the parties and the swag. Those three things: free alcohol, partying, and swag. And if you can't be honest with yourself up front and admit that that's why you go to conferences, that's where I'd start with the problems. Much like sand certs, I think you should only go to conferences if somebody else sends you. If you have to pay for it yourself, don't go. Everybody, there's lots of people in chat really quick on this topic, and then I'll move on. I highly encourage local conferences. B-sides. Go to the ones that are put on by local communities. This is going to sound harsh, but they don't have enough attendees to attract any vendors. That is it. They do not have enough money or attendees to attract any vendors. So there's a low likelihood that most vendors will go to B-sides. I'm not saying all of them, but I'll say most of them. Right? The groups are smaller. You have less opportunity to hide. Let's call it what it is. You have less opportunity to hide. When you have less opportunity to hide, there's where you're going to get forced into doing some networking, because people are going to see you. And when there's a group of 5 people or 6 people at a local conference and they're like, that person's off on their own, we should go introduce ourselves to them. You have a much higher likelihood of that happening. Yeah, GurCon in Grand Rapids is great. I saw somebody say rip to DerbyCon. Absolutely. Find the smaller conferences. And if you want to speak, go speak at the smaller conferences. You'll get a lot more appreciation from an audience if you speak at a local conference. Huge fan of the local conferences. Huge fan of the local conferences. We got a bunch of questions. I'm going to hit a bunch of questions in chat. Make sure you go ahead and get those questions dropped in there at all. We can go ahead and continue to bash on RSA. I'm definitely, as you can tell, this is definitely a hot button topic for me. I think conferences are one of the bigger lies that we tell to practitioners. When I was a leader, I guess I'm still a leader. When I was leading the team at Abbott and Mondelez, the amount of times I had to have a conversation with my team about going to conferences got to be really frustrating. Right? Because they would say, hey, Neal, can we go to Black Hat this year? Can we go to DEF CON? And I'd be like, why? What do you want to get out of it? They couldn't articulate it, right? And that brings on a whole nother conversation about helping you build the case for going to these conferences. I'm not saying that I couldn't help you build the business case to go to these conferences. Listen, I can lie about a business case with the best of them. I've secured $50 million worth of money, over the course of, working with Abbott over 3 years, right? So I can definitely help you lie your way into a justification for funding to go to a conference. But at the end of the day, that's what you're doing, because nothing you do at a conference will actually benefit your organization. Nothing you do at a conference will benefit your organization at all. Listen, Carmen has a new job where she has to build a business case to have a representation at Black Hat and DEF CON. And she's talking to me about it. And she's like, how do I build a business case to have representation at Black Hat and DEF CON? And I'm like, you know as well as I do that you can't, because there's nothing useful about going to those conferences. So we all know. Like, when you're in this space for long enough, you know that there's no benefit to go to these conferences. All right, let's hit some questions. Winter Jolt, have you talked about combating burnout in cybersecurity? We talked about it a couple streams ago. Find a hobby, get you a hobby. Burnout is real. I think Jens dropped a short for it on the socials. Burnout is real. This is why I play golf. Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I play golf, but, playing golf definitely helps with burnout. I don't know. Like, I think I've said before, I just want to make sure I say it again, right? You're the only one that can control burnout. I think this is another one of those employer-led lies or employee-led lies where they're like, no, it's the company's responsibility to stop from burning you out. And it's not, right? I don't believe that. I've said it, I'll say it, this is a hill I'll die on, right? It's Query's responsibility to look after its shareholder interest. And to look after those shareholder interests, they have to execute on their business strategies. And they have to use the resources, people and technological, at their disposal to achieve those shareholder goals and responsibilities. And if I've agreed to work at an organization through an employee agreement, then I've agreed to be used to facilitate those shareholder responsibilities. That's what you've agreed to. You've agreed to be used as an instrument for the shareholders. Say that to yourself the next time you think about why you're working for a company. It is transactional. Maz says this a lot. Where's Maz? I think Maz is in chat. Huge shout out to Maz. Maz says this a lot, right? First thing you need to realize about employment is that it's transactional. You are a tool. You have agreed to trade your time, your intellect, and your effort for a dollar figure, or pounds or euros or whatever. You control that, right? And you've agreed to be a tool. If you agree to allow an enterprise to use more of your time, Outcast, read my mind right there, right? If you've allowed yourself to be put into a position where you've given the company an impression that more of your time is available to them than what they originally anticipated or expected, you have failed to manage the transactional KPIs of your employment. You have allowed hustle culture to say to you, well, Jim's given 110% and you're only giving 100%, so therefore we're just going to pass you up for promotion. I don't think some of you realize how hard it is to fire somebody. Right? If you're in Europe, if you're any of my European folks, especially Germany, the amount of blood sacrifice that has to be made to the old gods to get you terminated from your job makes a Viking jealous. Right? It's insane. Even in at-will states, sure, they can fire you at will, and they got to pay you a severance to do so. Right? So don't underestimate just how hard it is to actually terminate your employment if you decide to put boundaries on your employee contract. Nowhere in your employee contract does it say that you have to work 24/7. Nowhere in your employee contract does it say that you must be available on off hours. Nowhere in your employee contract does it tell you any of that stuff. And so if you allow yourself to set that expectations, company's going to take advantage of it. And so I say all that to say, I remind you of that. I remind you of that to remind you that combating burnout means you have to take control of your time. You have to go to your leadership and say, hey, I'm feeling burnt out. I need to take some time off. Hey, I've been working these 4 extra tasks ever since you laid Bob off. It's starting to impact my mental health. It's starting to impact my physical health. I'm not able to give 100% to each one of these job functions because you have doubled my workload. What can we do about it? If you refuse to do that, that's on you. Here we go. Once our 90 days up, we were forced to sign an on-call track and be termed. That's right. That's right. The business has a right to do that. And you have a right to say, I didn't agree to go on call, therefore no. Right? Like, there's nothing, like, again, let's make sure that we're expressly clear on this. The business was upfront with you. After 90 days, you will be expected to be on call. And if you don't want to be on call, you do not work here. That is the business in its transactional state being upfront with you. You can't complain about this. I don't know if you are. I'm not accusing you of complaining, but I'm just saying you can't complain about this. Right? Because the business is being upfront with you. You want money. The business has to make money. The business needs resources to do so. You have agreed to an employee contract. You have agreed to adhere to their business rules. All right? You are in control. This mentality that we have to blame corporations because they don't employ people the way you want to be employed is a fallacy. Call me a boomer. I do not care. It does not faze me. I don't care whether you agree with me or not. This is Neal's opinion on it, and I will die on this sword. You want to get paid, and some of you want to get paid stupid amount of monies for your skill levels. Some of you want to get paid stupid amount of money for what you contribute to the organization. Some of you have unrealistic expectations out of an employer. You think that an employer is there to make your life happy, to make your life better. Some of you think it is an employer's responsibility to adhere to you and the other 5,000 people that are in that organization's demands. And it is not. It is not. You want an employer? You want an employer that caters to your every whim? Go work for yourself. Go try making your own money. Go try making your own money. I want 7 figures. Doesn't everybody? 7 figures and an ice cream. Hey, Meta just released Llama Firewall. I know you said the last part just like we always wanted, cynically, but I actually posted this in Resource Repository in Discord. By the way, make sure you head on over to Discord if you want. If you want, you should. There's a giveaway going on right now in Discord, by the way, for Try Hack Me vouchers. So you should hop on over to Discord and get into the giveaway for the Try Hack Me vouchers. Hit that exclamation point Discord. Go to the hashtag giveaway notifications, giveaway channel, whatever it is. But in the resource repository, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the resource repository, make sure you go on over and check out the resource repository. Lots of good stuff there. I actually posted about this the other day. Say what you will about Meta, and I'm right there with you on the Mark Zuckerberg hate. But their AI team is crushing it, right? Their AI team is absolutely smashing it. When you go up a GitHub folder outside of Llama Firewall and look at all of the things that they have built for Llama that's open source, it's mind-blowingly awesome. It is mind-blowingly awesome. Right? You should absolutely go learn. And listen, there's a content idea here, right? There is a content idea here. Like, we talked about this a couple days ago. I think we talked about this on Tuesday when I streamed. Again, I gave you a content idea on Tuesday. Listen, I'm giving you all my content ideas. I'm literally giving you content ideas that will make you famous. I'm about to give you another content idea right now that will make you famous. But first, I have to piss you off. Because here's the thing. I saw somebody else ask me, right, about OSCP. Somebody else asked me about Sec Plus, right? Because you're all still thinking traditional freaking, 1990s level content when it comes to how to get into this industry. Right? And this is the problem, is that this industry teaches you. You want to know why you're going to get replaced by AI? I'm going to tell you this right now. You want to know why you're going to get replaced by AI? Because you think OSCP is how you get employed. That's how you're going to get replaced by AI. Because you think OSCP, Sec Plus, Net Plus are how you're going to get employed in this industry. Right? You want to know how you get employed in this industry? Go build you an LLM from scratch using Llama. Then you go to Llama Firewall's website and you put Llama Firewall in front of it and you make content on how to bypass Llama Firewall to steal information out of LLMs, to poison prompts in LLMs. You make content on bypassing an AI firewall. Guess what you've just done? You are a leader in this industry in AI security with shit that everybody just spent $1 million at RSA to promote. And you are the leading cybersecurity researcher that did it. But no, let's go get OSCP and let's do some Active Directory hacking or let's do some SQL injection, right? You don't know how to do that? Go learn. Holy shit, go learn. Nobody has content on this shit. Like, oh, you want to wait until somebody else has content? Congratulations, you're going to give them your money and the industry's already going to be flooded. Holy shit, is it that fucking hard? Oh, God. Chat, come on. The first person to do this on the regular will literally have their name for themselves in doing AI content. I bet you did. I fucking bet you did. This is what I'm talking about, right? Some of you want to be in this industry, but you aren't willing to look for the opportunities and put in the work. That's 2 content ideas this week on how you could literally be the most marketable person in this entire industry if you stopped chasing the status quo. I got the next best thing, Maz. My whoop may actually tell me. Here's the thing, like Carmen can't hear me downstairs. I know she's sleeping on the couch because she just got back from RSA. I know she can't hear me on the couch, but if she were next door, I probably would have already gotten the text from it. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. We've peaked at 1.8 on the stress meter this stream. I don't know how I get to my heart rate in my whoop. I don't know how I get to my heart rate. If anybody can give me instructions on how to get to my heart rate and my whoop. I'm not calm enough to count that many seconds, Beard. Oh. I'll wear my Apple Watch when I stream, and I'll check the pulse on the Apple Watch when I stream. But do y'all understand what I'm saying? Right? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Right? This is how you get in. This is how you get in. It isn't OSCP. It isn't Network Plus. It isn't Sec Plus. It isn't SANS courses. This is how you get in. Yeah, thank you. Nathan over on YouTube. Exactly, right? If you're not in the industry, you should be doing this. And if you're in the industry and you're not seeing this, like, listen, I know Regigial made the comment about non-technical leaders and things like that, but like, if I'm in the industry and I'm a CISO and I'm trying to press forward with myself and my career, and I'm seeing these opportunities, and I'm building AI agents, and I'm building locally hosted LLMs, and I'm doing this research, why aren't you? Why aren't you? Why aren't you? Really, what is the reason why you're not doing this? Or do you think that there is a step-by-step roadmap that you must be this high to ride? Listen, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it, but listen to how stupid this sounds. I'm not going to research the latest and greatest threats to AI because I think the way to get into cybersecurity is to learn about computers. How stupid does that sound? Right? There are people replacing software developers who don't know shit about coding. There are people building apps and making millions of dollars vibe coding, and you can bash on it all day long. You can bash on vibe coding all day long, but there are people making millions of dollars being vibe coders, and you're worried about imposter syndrome to make content for something that nobody is making content for. Nobody is making content for. Nobody is leading the charge. Nobody is writing papers on this stuff. And yet you've got people who are releasing production apps on the App Store, vibe coding it. Same here. How are we preparing for quantum computing threats? I don't know. Go out there and figure it out. You know why nobody has an answer to this? Because nobody has figured it out. Because people are still trying to figure out AI. Nobody can figure out AI. Oh. I need a question that's not going to put me on a soapbox for just like 5 minutes. I need a non-soapboxy question for like 5 minutes. Oh man. hacks for making your travel more comfortable. Hard time sleeping for more than 5 hours in a hotel. There's no great hacks for traveling. Here's what I'll tell you. Definitely get to the gym. Like build a healthy routine. If you build a healthy routine, it's easier to travel. I'm not saying that it is very easy by any stretch of the imagination. But at least if you're healthy, you don't feel like ass while you're traveling. Routines are incredibly important. Routines are so incredibly important. I'll give you an example. So we went on vacation last week, 2 weeks. We spent 2 weeks on the road. We were a week in Atlanta, a week in Daytona, right? Obviously it's 2 weeks on the road. One hotel in Atlanta, one Airbnb in Daytona. While it wasn't a hotel, it was still rough, right? It was still an Airbnb, right? I apologize for the sniffles. For some reason, ever since, I sneezed that one time on stream, apparently I now need to look like somebody who has sniffed cocaine all morning. I promise you I did not. Matt, I promise I did not sniff cocaine all morning. So 2 weeks on the road, right? We obviously were not in our routine. I didn't have access to my gym. We had to buy groceries to eat a normal-ish type of thing. And so we're already out of our routine. The thing that kept me sane was I knew that I needed to work out every day. And so while I didn't have access to my gym, I saw somebody say it, right? I did some push-ups. I don't do sit-ups. I hate sit-ups by any stretch of the imagination, but I did walk 3 miles, and I went to the golf course, right? Obviously not just to play, but I also went to the driving range just to hit balls the same way I would if I were on my simulator. So while it wasn't the same, I tried to find a way to keep some semblance of a routine while I was out, right? And I say all that to say I still gained weight, right? So I was 172. And I'm going to use my air quotes here, right? Because this is the thing about weight loss that nobody's really talked about, right? I was 172 before I left for Atlanta, right? When I got home, Sunday night we got home. I didn't weigh myself Sunday night. Monday morning, first thing I did when I woke up, I weighed myself. I was 180. And it took me a while to realize that I didn't gain 8 pounds in 2 weeks. I mean, you would have to eat so many calories every day above your maintenance to gain 8 pounds in 2 weeks. It is physically improbable for the normal human to do that. But in your mind, you're like, oh my God, I'm up 8 pounds. No, what happens is you end up swollen, you have, inflammation, you've got water weight retention from carbs and stuff like that, right? So it's a lot, right? And so I knew that I needed to go back into the habit of doing my intermittent fasting when I got home. And so starting Monday, I started back 20 and 4. So 20 hours of sleep, 4 hours of an eating window, and I only consumed naturally made foods in a 4-hour windows to the tune of 1,100 carbs. Went back to the gym, back into my routine, went back in the simulator in the golf, right, for swinging the golf club, right? And in 3 days, technically 2, but I waited for 3 days just to make sure. In 3 days, all that inflammation, all that water weight had been dropped back down, and I was back down to 172. But it's because of the habit that I had formed, and I was able to keep the habit going while I was traveling, go back into the habit when I got back into town, that allowed me to stay healthy, stay motivated. And I went out and I had a golf lesson with my coach yesterday, and I walked 18 holes yesterday to play golf, right, for a practice round. right? So those are the things that I have from a travel hack, is to build a healthy habit and then to look for ways that you can keep that habit going while you travel. We hack health. Yes, we have a healthy hackers inside of Discord as well. We absolutely do that. As a frequent flyer, do you recommend sleeping at the destination's time zone for long flights? Great question. This is weird, right? So when I would travel internationally, I would try to schedule my flights so that I would sleep during a normal sleep time period, and I would land and wake up ready to go to work, right? So I would frequently fly to England. I'd frequently fly to Romania. I'd frequently fly to, other parts of Central Europe. And so what I would do is I would schedule my flight for Sunday at 6 p.m. Yes, I know I shouldn't fly for work on Sunday night, but I did it for a reason, right? The reason that I did it was the flight would take off between 6 and 8. It would just depend on the week and the airline and things like that. But I'd take off sometime between 6 and 8. And I would get to the airport, get on the plane. I would start to do a bedtime-ish type of routine where I'd start to slow my mind down. I'd start to calm down. And then by 7 or 8 o'clock-ish or so in my home time zone, I would fall asleep. And I would sleep the entire time on the plane. And when I woke up, it was morning in Europe. And so I would wake up and I would be refreshed and I would be able to go to work. This is also why Carmen takes the red eye, right? So she finished RSA last night. She went to the airport. She got on a plane last night, and it was 11 p.m. in Vegas, it was 8 p.m. in Vegas or in San Francisco when she got on the plane. She flew home, slept on the plane the whole time, and woke up here and it was 5:30 in the morning. Now, granted, she's downstairs sleeping, but that's mostly because of ADHD, socialization, exhaustion than it is anything else. But that's part of that strategy where it's like, I'm going to sleep during those time periods, right? I'm going to sleep during those time periods so I wake up in a target organization. That's what I try to do to solve that. So I do agree with that one as best you can. Oh. Non-soapboxy question from Bayou Beast. What's your favorite golf course? Either TPC Sawgrass or here in North Carolina, we've got Tobacco Road, which is awesome. How's the cancer treatment coming? I missed your last stream. Glad to see you're still doing great. Technically, I think the medical definition of where I'm at is I'm technically in remission. So, my cancer is uncurable, right? It is metastatic. It's stage 4. It is a type of cancer that is uncurable, right? So there's no I will never be cured of cancer. But we've lost enough weight. We've got ourselves on a healthy diet. We haven't drank in 3 years. We've got our weight down. We've got our health under control. We went through 2 years worth of solid immunotherapy. And my last scan was completely and totally clean, and we are officially cancer-free. So I think that they call that remission because there's no signs of active cancer. I did get a call from the doc 2 weeks ago when I was in Atlanta. They want to schedule me a biopsy. Again, nothing major. It's just prudent, right? They can't see anything on the scan, which means that, it's so small it's undetectable, right? It's undetectable by a scan, which is great. That means that again, these technologies are amazing. They can see crazy amounts of detail with it, right? They want to do a biopsy as kind of like an additional, kind of check, if you will. And so we're working on getting a biopsy scheduled so we can just, get even further. It's not a dumb question by any stretch. It's something we've asked for 2.5 years. Do they know what caused the cancer? No. It was stage 4 melanoma, which is skin cancer. I had 4 different dermatologists look at me, and no dermatologist was able to find any sign on me whatsoever that my skin cancer was caused by an actual skin condition, right? When you think about things like sun exposure, blah, 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 whatever the case is, they found no, and it was a pretty invasive scan. When I say invasive, they looked in all the nooks and crannies of my body. They even looked at my eyeballs. I was unaware of this, but you can get skin cancer through your eyeballs. That was news to me. Apparently, you can get skin cancer through your eyeballs. They looked at my eyeballs to see if I had signs of skin cancer in my eyeballs. I have no idea. No idea. As far as the VA is concerned, I got it from burn pits in Afghanistan. That is that, and the doctor thinking that it was 40 some odd years of drinking are the 2 leading suppositions that we have. Yeah. Apparently, the same way that you get sun exposure on your skin, and you can end up with a leading indicator of skin cancer on your skin, you can do it in your eyeballs from sun exposure. I did not know that either. Here's why I talk about it, right? I want to share this, and I appreciate everybody who gave me some non-soapboxy stuff to calm my heart down. Couple months after I got diagnosed and I talked about it on stream, my neighbor, and I'm literally talking about like, this dude lives on the other side of a giant wooded area, like right out this window, right? There's a window that you guys can't see behind this monitor right here. I've got a giant wooded area. And in the wintertime, when all the leaves are gone, I can see his house. I can't see his house now because, spring is here. There's a house over there. That's where my neighbor lives. He works at, he's a director of fraud at I don't even know what this company is. If I said the name, you would know. I don't want to rat out the company or whatnot. But he's pretty high up at a company doing security work. Well, he was listening to the stream, and I was leaving the neighborhood one time, and he was coming into the neighborhood, and we kind of did that like super pretentious, snooty thing where we kind of stop and like talk to each other from each other's vehicles. And he's like, "Neal, I want to thank you." And I was like, "Oh shit, what are you thanking me for?" And he's like, "I was listening to your stream, and you were talking about your cancer journey, and you were talking about how you had no signs, you had no symptoms, and all of a sudden, bam, you got hit with cancer." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I've had these dark spots on my skin for a number of years that I've just been avoiding and haven't really been focusing on." I said, "After listening to your story, I started to think about my family, and I went ahead and go get them checked out." Lo and behold, he had precancerous lesions on his skin, in his back specifically, that he got removed only after listening to my story and realizing that he needed to take care of himself. So I jokingly say I at least know I saved somebody's life, potentially, by telling my story. And so this is your reminder. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Don't be like Neal. This is not one of those times where you want to be like Neal and wait until your body develops some really terrible disease to go to the doctor, get checked out, lose that weight that you've been trying to lose, get healthy. Don't wait for a crisis to get healthy. Don't. Go to a dermatologist. Yeah, go to if you're a guy, nobody likes talking about it. Go get that. Go get it done. Go get it done. All right. All right, there we go. Whew. We can probably find some soapboxes to get on now. Sneaky Fox Studio says, quick question, being a mobile engineer for a little over 5+ years and want to get into cybersecurity sector, can I honestly skip the A+ certificate and go into security network certificates and move up from there? You can do whatever you want, right? There is no, like we just said, there is no one path. There is no secret to success. Do whatever you want to do. There is no answer, right? I'm trying to decide how I want to go about this one. The people who have a vested interest in you adhering to a path is because it fiscally benefits them for you to be on their path. Right? Right, the boot camps who say, well, we'll get you A+, we'll get you Sec+, we'll get you Net+, and that'll be the basis that you need to get into cybersecurity, is because at that rate, they can say that you should be in a program for 6 months, and at 6 months, it should cost you $35,000. Now give me $35,000 for a boot camp. Right? Paths are for lemmings. Paths are for lemmings. You shouldn't follow my path. You shouldn't follow anybody's path. You should follow your own path. And if you like being a lemming, you're not going to do very well in cybersecurity. Right? If you're already a mobile engineer, you have a lot of experience. You have experience, right? I think sometimes people underestimate how much knowledge they have, especially when they come into career fields like cyber from something like mobile engineering, right? You've already done some awesome work. Put that work to use. Yeah, definitely don't need A+ when you've got a mobile engineering background. Absolutely not. That's the most important question of the morning. I was not aware that I used a term that was not widely known. What's a lemming? There's this great game concept of lemmings where it's just like a bunch of robots, a bunch of people that just like fall in a line because that's what everybody else does. Right? That's what a lemming is. A lemming is just somebody who sees what it is everybody else is doing and tries to copy what it is everybody else is doing because they see everybody else doing it, like going to conferences, like taking OSCP, like getting into cybersecurity. They see everybody else doing it and they're like, I want to do that. I'm just going to go do exactly what it is they're doing, and I'll be just as successful as them. Reminder, only ask your question one time or you will be timed out. It looks like we got somebody timed out for asking their question more than once. I promise you, the mods see the questions and the mods get them added to the queue. I promise you it happens. Asking it 50 times, if anything, increases the likelihood that it doesn't get asked. It's like a diminishing return. We answer questions based on the flow of the chat. Again, if I need to give my heart a break and do a non-soapboxy question, that's how we pick questions. I pick them, the mods pick them, push them up on screen, things like that. But I promise you, we see all of them, and we try to get to as many of them as much as possible. I have my Security Plus, but I still cannot land a security job. I'm currently in IT. Any other skills I should learn? If you currently aren't getting a job, it has nothing to do with your skills, right? If this is your first time hearing me say it, then I'll ask everybody who has heard me say it before to put it into chat. The current state of this job market still sucks. This market sucks so hard. This market is the worst. This market is the worst that I have seen it in a really, really, really long time. And so if you're not seeing results to your employment efforts, the first thing to do is to remind yourself that it's not you, just like your ex-girlfriend told you, or your ex-boyfriend told you. It's not you, it's them. It's not you, it's the job market. This is why I harp very much on breaking out of traditional thought processes when it comes to making yourself employable. Right? Let's make sure that is expressly clear, right? When I give this advice on the NIST AI RMF, when I give this advice on the Llama firewall, when I'm giving you this advice, it's because you all need to see around the corner for how to make yourselves employable. And currently, the tried and true, and I use that incredibly with air quotes. The A+, Net+, Sec+, OSCP, SANS, EJPT, PMPT, whatever the case is, right? That stuff does not work anymore, right? If you've never heard the sentiment, let me share the sentiment with you, right? If everybody has OSCP, who has OSCP? Right? If everybody has OSCP, no one has OSCP. Remember, to be employable, you need to differentiate yourself. Hold on, I love this conversation. We have this every single time this comes up, and I'm happy to rehash it. Chat, feel free to opine upon this as well. I love this conversation. Supply and demand. We're going to have a business lesson. How the fuck do we go from certifications to supply and demand? Right? Supply and demand. If I have one job opening for a pen tester, a junior pen tester, and I get 100 resumes. First of all, you're not getting just 100 resumes in this market. But let's just, for the sake of conversation, say that we get 100 resumes. And they all have OSCP, just for the sake of conversation. So 100 people apply, all have OSCP. How many of them have differentiated themselves? 0. They're all the same. Which means, cool, I get to have a race to the bottom on salary. Supply and demand. Congratulations, it is now a race to see how little money you're willing to take to get this job. Don't like that? That's fine. I'll offshore it, or I'll get an MSP to do it. That's fine too. because it is now my world as an employer that I get to pay what I want, and you pretentious punks who think that because you're a pen tester, you can demand $200,000 a year. You're not in control anymore. Supply and demand. Has nothing to do with gatekeepers anymore. Has nothing to do with gatekeepers anymore. And again, I've said it before. If you're trying to get a job by simply hitting that easy apply button on LinkedIn, you might as well take your resume and your application and throw it in the trash. Right? If you are trying to simply hit that apply now, if you're just trying to fill out that Workday application, right? If you're just trying to send that email off to that hiring manager with your resume and say, please hire me for that job, you might as well take your resume, right click, move to trash. That's as good as it's going to get. Right? That's not how the job market works today. Right? Just like any system. So again, I'm going to hurt some feelings. Right? I'm going to hurt some feelings. Because again, some of you want to be hackers, but you refuse to hack the system that you're trying to break into. Right? Some of you refuse to actually look at the employment system or look at the job hiring system and ask yourself, if this was a computer, how would I hack into it? Right? It is happening to everybody. It is happening to everybody. And back to our lemmings comment, if you're just hitting that easy apply button, right, just like all the other lemmings are, you are not standing out amongst the crowd. So how do you stand out, Neal? We've talked about this before, right? You stand out by finding ways to make people see that you have a skill set that is actionable, that is measurable. You do content. You look for areas where nobody is doing content. AI. I'm saying meaningful content. I'm not talking about marketing shit. And you put yourself out there to be seen. You're going to get laid off. Let's say that up front. Right? You're going to get laid off. Like this like I can unequivocally tell you, I am building my incident response, my disaster recovery plan, because it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. Just like we talk about with incidents, just like we talk about cyber incidents. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. And that's not anything against your employer. Right? That's nothing against your employer for you to be ready to take care of yourself. Back to what we talked about with your health. Right? Take care of yourself. if you're not currently thinking, if you are employed right now, and you don't have a plan to be laid off, I would say you're in a risky position. If you are not employed, as in currently laid off or currently trying to get into the job market, and you're not keenly aware of how bad the market is, I would make sure you are aware and factor that into how long you're going to be unemployed and make that part of your operating model. Thank you for sharing this, Bopper. Thank you for sharing this, right? It's and again, I want to say something. It's not always about looking for a job. Being prepared isn't about looking for a job. When I say being prepared, that doesn't mean you go out and you find a new job before you get laid off, right? When I was looking to leave I&E, I knew that I was looking to leave I&E, and my initial contacts were to my network to put myself out there, right? That was step number one in me saying, I'm going to leave I&E. Let me see what the market looks like. That was how I prepared myself, was I made sure I had a good network. I made sure I stayed in contact with them. And so when the time came, I could pick up a phone and make a phone call. And that was how I was executing my disaster recovery plan. My disaster recovery plan is built on a strong network. That's mine. So I again, back to good security practices. I test my disaster recovery plan frequently by re-engaging with my network, asking how their companies are doing, asking what it is that they're seeing in the marketplace, and generally keeping the communications active. That's how I test my disaster recovery plan. It's not solely about looking for a job. I'm not saying proactively go look for a job before you get laid off. I mean, if you're unhappy, sure. Right? But if you're not unhappy, like, listen, I'm not unhappy at Query. I love my job at Query. I love everybody that we work with. Like, we do cool shit. We're leading the charge in federated search. Some of the AI stuff that we're doing, some of the AI that our R&D team is doing is ungodly phenomenal. It is absolutely amazing. I use the product on a daily basis in my running of security operations at Query. But I'm still testing my disaster recovery plan because our investors could pull out tomorrow. The AI market could absolutely crash and we go down with it. Who knows what could happen tomorrow where I don't have a job? Who knows, right? And it's not Query's fault. It's not Matt's fault. It's not the board's fault. It's not their fault if I'm unprepared for that impact to me and my family. And listen, we could talk, if this is of interest, I'm happy to share, like, parts of the disaster recovery plan that Carmen and I have put together. Right? Like, we have a list of things that we would execute on should one or both of us end up unemployed. And I shit you not. These are things like we are prepared to sell the house. Right? We are prepared to sell the house. We are prepared to sell a car. We are prepared to sell everything in this house. We have scoped out low-cost living opportunities up to and including a camper on a campsite. We have spec'd out, based on our savings, how long we can live in each scenario. We know what our time cutoffs are based on this market. I can tell you right now that I would come to the network I've built, to the community we've built together as a team, and I would double down on using that to supplement my income. Right? I would fire back up my consulting business and I would start doing consulting work again. I would go back to my friends at PwC and Deloitte and try to do contract work with my friends at PwC and Deloitte. We've got plans upon plans upon plans should the worst happen. I'm telling you this because I've been in your shoes where I've not had a backup plan. I've not had a backup plan, and I've been absolutely effed up a creek without a paddle. And so I'm sharing this with you because you should be thinking about these things. Everybody wants cybersecurity when cybersecurity is good. Everybody wants in this marketplace when this marketplace is good. But nobody wants to do the work to protect themselves and have a plan for when shit goes upstream. And it will. This market is a testament. This market is a testament that if you are not prepared, you could get run over by this industry. It's no offense to you. It's not that the industry hates you. It's none of that. It is simply because of market economics. This is why you hear me talk about, when I talk about getting degrees, the most important degree you can get is a business degree. The most important degree you can get for cyber is a business degree. Period. Dot. End of discussion. I love that one from Cali Beefcake. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Have multiple backup plans. Have multiple backup plans. I just got my tee time for Saturday. Saturday's tournament. I tee off at 11:10 a.m. on hole number 1. Looking forward to tournament on Saturday. Do you see the market getting better or changing in which direction? I am now completely red-pilled on AI. I've tried to warn you guys over the last 2 years. I know I started out being cynical, but as I've watched the market shift, you've probably heard my tone shift. I am now completely red-pilled on AI. Despite marketing's inability to grasp how AI can help, there are some people out there building real solutions to AI. You may have seen my video yesterday with Richa. There's a full interview that's being released that Richa and I had done. It's on LinkedIn. Go find Richa on LinkedIn. Go find myself on LinkedIn. I commented on it. But there are companies like Compliance that are actually doing real meaningful work with AI. AI is changing the landscape, right? Again, despite marketing's best efforts to not understand the why, the how, or anything else around it, it is changing the landscape. And so I am now 100% red-pilled. You should be out there being a leader in AI, every single one of you, to make the most out of the current market conditions. Period. Dot. End of discussion. I think your best opportunity to be employable is currently AI. And I'm not saying you have to learn all the math behind doing an LLM. Learn agentic AI. Learn AI automation. Right? Learn AI risk management frameworks. Learn AI defense with Llama Firewall and others. Learn security architecture around AI. See all those things? All those things represent opportunities for you to be a security leader in that respective space. Yeah. This 100%. Absolutely. Like this was one of the last straws. But when I saw Portswigger double down on it and put AI into Burp, it's here to stay. Right? It is here to stay. We have not seen, let's say this, we've not seen AI's final form. Wow, that sounds really ominous. Where you at with that one, Brian? That was right up your D&D alley right there. We have not seen AI's final form. It could be Skynet. We'll all know when, shit hits the fan. Who knows? And so, like, what AI looks like today, it's not going to look like tomorrow. And so if you're one of these people who's like, well, I'm going to wait and see how AI transpires before I get involved, congratulations. You're just going to get left behind by somebody who's willing to move at the speed of AI. I wholeheartedly believe that. Like, you have to be willing to move at that pace to be a differentiator in this space. Now, I'm not here to say AI is everything it's cracked up to be. I'm not here to say that AI does everything that marketing claims that it can do. But what I am here to tell you is that AI is here to stay, and it behooves you to become some form of an expert and to write content on it. And if you don't, you're going to get left behind. I'm still waiting for somebody to put some RMF content up on my For You page. Same with this one, right? What do you think about the future of bug hunting? I think AI is going to be the future of bug hunting. I think AI is going to be the future of bug hunting. Tips for first time going to the golf course: have fun. Have fun. It's coming up on our 2 hours. I got a meeting in 30 minutes. So I think this is a good one to end with. So I'll end with this thought. I've had people say, Neal, I don't want to golf with you because I'm afraid that you'll get frustrated with me because I'm not good. And I think you misunderstand what people look for when they golf with people. Most people are at the golf course not because they're good. As a matter of fact, it took me a really, really, really long time to realize that 99% of the world sucks at golf. Right? Most people suck at golf. But you know what they don't suck at? They don't suck at having fun. And there are some people who have a lot of fun on the golf course, no matter what the score on their scorecard says. And so I will go play golf with anybody at any skill level, at any handicap, for no other reason other than to just have a good, solid time with you. right? Just to have a good, solid time. Yeah. If the people you're with get upset because you're not great, you're golfing with the wrong people 1,000%. 1,000%. I don't hit every shot perfect, right? So have I talked about the golf brand that I want to build on stream? I don't know if I have or not. I've done some mocks for a golf brand that I want to build. And one of the first quotes that I'm going to put on a hat or a t-shirt or anything else is, "You're not good enough to be angry." You're not good enough to be angry. Beardsec stealing a line from Bruce Banner. Not even original. Go have fun. I will play golf with anybody. I will play golf with anybody. If I am in your town and you want 4 hours of unadulterated mentorship and coaching time, take me to a golf course. You can play golf with me. You can sit in the golf cart while I play golf. You can do whatever you want. But I will play golf with anybody of any skill level anytime. With that being said, hope you guys kicked ass this week in your respective areas. Hope you kick ass this weekend. I'm going to kick ass in my tournament. I'm taking home a W. I'm taking home a W this weekend. I know it. I appreciate every single one of you. I can't stress that enough, that you guys are awesome. You guys make my week. That's why I love the Friday streams. Y'all stay awesome. I got nothing else to say other than I appreciate you. Give you my traditional outro. Whether you're on the red side or the blue side or still deciding, please keep learning. Keep learning. Keep pushing yourself forward and do awesome shit. Make sure you get in Discord. Make sure you participate in the giveaway. Get you some free stuff in Discord. Thanks to everybody who subbed today. Thanks to the Hype Train. Thanks to the gifted subs from Residual. All that money goes directly into paying for giveaways for you all. Y'all stay awesome.
Got the money on my mind, I see dollar signs. If I want it, I'ma get it. If I said it, then I mean it. They be thinking it's a game, it's a real life. Tell them I make them a way to the top, I'm coming to take what's mine. People gon' talk all day on the internet, they be giving advice online. I just keep doing me for 365, I never gon' pay